Hello, welcome. It's Match Day live and a little bit uncensored as well. Ahead of the Merseyside derby, the 224th iteration of the Merseyside derby. Liverpool, of course, taking on Everton at Goodison Park. But we're here at Redmen Towers on Penny Lane to bring you all the match action, except the actual match, all the way up to kickoff. I'm joined by Jack Hart, Ben Mullane and Ryan Bromlow. And, of course, over on, what we call it now?
The Pulse.
The Pulse. Mr. Chris Pajak as well. We'll get stuck into a little bit of chat and that, but first and foremost, let's go to Chris Pajak with the team news.
Cool, nice one, Paul. So we've lined it up like this. We've gone Simon Mignolet in goal, Emre Can, Martin Skrtel, Mamadou Sakho as the three at the back. We've lined Ibe up in the sort of right wing back position with Henderson, Lucas and Moreno. Gerrard and the magician Phil Coutinho behind Raheem the Dream Sterling.
That's going to take off.
I'm really hoping it does, to be honest. I really want to see people start calling him the Dream.
Yeah.
I think it's probably just going to be me again.
If you're watching at home, tweet at Mr. Blood Red, Raheem the Dream Sterling, just to make it feel better. He's a bit under the weather today, so you need a lift, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Okay, I mean, Chris, while we've got you,
You got me all day, mate.
I know,
it's fine, I'll be here all day.
What do you think about that team? Because there was a little bit of deliberation as to whether or not that's how the team will actually line up.
Yeah, well, I was texted the same players this morning from somebody else, and they had it as Henderson. In fact, I'll just show you. There you go.
Yeah.
They had it as Henderson in the right wing back position, Gerrard deep with Ibe and Coutinho behind Sterling. Now, I don't want to see that version. I'd rather see the Ibe wing back version, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I just Gerrard hasn't done it in the defensive midfield position. Henderson's just so much better and wasted when he's pushed out wide. Basically, he's so much better in the centre mid. Yeah. And I'd rather see Ibe get at the Oviedo. Is it that will be starting for Everton in left back position? So. Yeah. I'm happy with the side actually. I thought we bought Jordan Ibe back for a reason. I didn't think it was to play in the derby as his first full start since he's come back really, but fair play. I think he can do some damage against them. His cameo against West Ham was sensational. So
yeah, we didn't see because the stream was awful. Right, okay then, lads. I mean, thoughts on that, Jack? I mean, I tend to agree with Chris on the Henderson point, but just on that alternative formation, 4 with 3 of Ibe, Coutinho and Sterling is potentially terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah, that sounds very exciting. I'd lean towards having the first option though. I want to see Ibe at wing back. I think you've got to consider the Gerrard factor today, and the further up the pitch he plays, I think the more we'll get out of him. I want to see him arriving late in the box and getting onto things, so I think starting in that advanced position will suit us, and Ibe looks like a very good prospect, and he should fit into that right wing back spot. He looks like he's got all the attributes, so good stuff.
I mean, Ben, do you agree? I mean, would you, like I say, there's the way that it was written out, the way that a lot of the people got the team news looked like Henderson at right wing back.
Yeah.
Where would you stand on
I
that?
totally agree with Jack. I'm all for the Lucas Henderson centre midfield partnership. Has just been a revelation for us, and it's probably been the key to our performances over the last 6 or 7 weeks. And moving Henderson to right wing back, he does a job. He run up all day, run up and down all day for you. Yeah. But he affects the game so much more in midfield. And I just think he's what I would class as a real danger man. And he's got nothing to fear, nothing to lose. And the fact that Markovic is on the bench and Ibe's still starting says to me that Rodgers is putting all the confidence in him, saying I brought you back because I think you can make the difference.
Yeah. And
I think he could be a real threat. It could be a masterstroke.
Yeah, are you excited to see Ibe start now?
It's interesting. He's a similar player to Markovic in a sense on the right hand side. He's a good player. It's similar to Sterling, and there've been that commotion already in the week where Raheem Sterling, when he started off, he was that sort of thing, came into the team. So I'll be interested to see how he can cope with obviously playing in the Merseyside derby, 224th Merseyside derby. It's very difficult to come back into a game like that once you've been alone. Where do we go on loan?
Derby. Yeah. So it's a big step up for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm excited to see him. I really am.
Yeah.
I think we were all discussing, and let us know your thoughts on Ibe in the comments alongside, or tweet us at the Redmen TV. I was devastated that we brought him back when he was cup time for all the cup competitions, because I thought that was a great opportunity to get him some game time. Clearly, I genuinely hope the club knew that because that's a fucking oversight of gigantic proportions, isn't it? But I'm just looking forward to see what he can do. As Chris said, in flashes that we've seen of him, he looks a terrific prospect.
It would have been bizarre to have brought him back not to use him. So I think we can only presume that he was going to be used, because as much as being on our training ground is of more benefit than being on somebody else's, he was playing for Derby.
Yeah.
So I think we have to be using him. I think on the way we've lined up, the thing I like about it, if we go with Henderson in the middle, is that effectively we're playing with 6 players who are going to get forward. Whereas if we were to use Gerrard there, we'd be limiting ourselves a little bit more. We'd stay deeper, so we'd be attacking with 5.
It's
There's intent there, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's real intent there.
Yeah. It's actually telling. You notice the way the teams line up prior to the game, the way they warm up on match days, that the colour bibs they wear, and they have like the defensive colour and the attacking colour, and Henderson and Lucas clash in with the defensive players. But you're dead right, Henderson has that engine to get himself up and down the pitch. Before we talk on further, Chris, do you want to go through the subs bench?
Yeah, of course. We've got Danny Ward in goal, Lovren, Johnson, Daniel Sturridge, Joe Allen, Ricky Lambert and Lazar Markovic. Again, Ben sort of touched on it before, is that Lazar Markovic, he's been playing right wing back, but Ibe's taken his position. I don't, I'm not saying he's fully fit or what, I don't know. I think if he's fit enough for the bench, he should be fit enough for the team. I think the fact is that over the last 3 weeks his form's dipped slightly, and it's time to change it up, freshen it up. It looks like, I think I said it somewhere this week, I talked so much about football that I can't remember exactly where, but it's like Markovic is the kid that no one wants to pass to when they're attacking. Sterling and Coutinho just do not want to pass to Markovic, and he's there and he's like, come on man, I'm over here. And like, oh, he's jumping up and down, and it's like, come on. And it's just, and I don't know why, they just don't seem to want to pass to him. But strong bench, man. Options.
Yeah, definitely. The Markovic thing's quite interesting. He does look, he's looked a little bit jaded, Danny Jack. He's found his way into the team. I think he's been sensational. He's proved so many doubters wrong. He's had a couple of really good games, really impactful games. But we were discussing on the show this week that whether he's being limited deliberately by Rodgers or whether it's just he just needs to be taken out of the game a little bit, he's not been as threatening in an attacking sense in the last game or two.
No, he's not. But we brought him in late in the autumn and used him over the last few months, and the timing's fantastic really if he's peaked a little bit and now he's fading off, because got Sturridge back, Sterling's had his rest and come back flying, Coutinho's hitting form. So people had a few complaints, didn't they, about the way we dealt in the summer, but we've developed the squad and we've now got the options to, Markovic can kind of come out now a little bit after having contributed for a few weeks, so it's really positive, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I suspect he's probably not fully fit, Ben, but the good thing is and that's why we've brought Ibe back, is that we're able to make a change, and theoretically we'll have to see how he performs. There's not too much of a drop off. There's not a dramatic change between playing Ibe as it would have been playing like Manquillo in that position.
Oh, definitely. And the thing as well for Markovic, for me, is that it's perception. We paid £20 million for Markovic, therefore the perception is he's ready-made and he should be the finished product, and he should go in and play 50 games a season. But he's not. He's a kid. He's still a young kid, and that's how you deal with young kids. You bring them in, play them for a few games, and then they come out again. Kids don't have that consistency. Isn't he the same age as Sterling? And Sterling was brought in, managed, brought out. Sterling just had a little holiday, hasn't he? So it's like, I just think it's great management from Rodgers, and I think that's probably why he brought Ibe back, because he said, didn't he? He said, I can see him playing in 3 or 4 different positions, and there's one option for him there. And that's another thing I love about this setup, is that if it goes tits up in the first 10 minutes, then they can shuffle it round and players are comfortable in different positions. If you take out Lucas, who's pretty much staying where he is, the others can float around, or you can even potentially change the formation. So it's nice to have that flexibility.
Yeah, absolutely. On the Markovic thing, Ryan, I mean, what did you think of him? Had you written him off in any way, shape or form?
He started, it was like you said, a bit jaded. He did start off quite poor, and I still think his finishing ability is dreadful, to be quite honest with you. He had a chance a couple of weeks ago when he was...
The week when he burst into the box. And
just put his foot through it.
I just think maybe he's lacking that sort of finishing quality. He should get there.
He's not the only one in that squad.
No. But he's quite an impulse player, isn't he?
I think, like touch on Ben said, where Raheem Sterling's the same age as him. Raheem Sterling, don't forget, has done remarkably well to basically carry the whole hopes of LFC on his shoulders. And a 19-year-old kid, and they're expecting Markovic to do exactly the same. That sort of player.
I think a few weeks ago we were saying very similar things about Coutinho, weren't we, before he's hit this rich vein of form. He was all, I think Chris mentioned a few times that in particular that he was skinning players and then playing a loose pass, and last week in particular against West Ham I think we saw Markovic do that quite a lot. He'd make a burst and run into the middle and really look like he was causing trouble, but then not quite find the pass.
Run into a dead end.
Yeah. But it's the kind of thing that comes with experience.
With experience.
Chris has given us away.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring your attention to this. Noah Saunders 29 on the YouTube comments has put, can Chan skirtle Sacco or skirtle Chan Sacco? And I think it's something that we talked about in the week, isn't it? It's a great point, because I think if Lukaku plays the way he did at Anfield, where he was pulling out onto Moreno, I think you might find Skirtle going out wide, because I think Sacco, I hope, will be able to deal with Lukaku. Chan, not so much if he pulls to that side. So I think that's something that Liverpool could have to do, is maybe put Skirtle on maybe the right hand side of that.
Not even from a defensive perspective. The way we were looking to mix it up. We've seen in the last couple of weeks, we've seen glimpses of Chan being moved to the centre of the three. Yeah. What he actually offers us as an attacking force as well is something that Skirtle certainly doesn't offer from that position.
Yeah, it's true. He's looked a real talent stepping forward. And there's been times when in the defence he's looked like a midfielder playing at the back, but by and large he's looked comfortable. But you really see his class when he's got the ability to step forward. And when the other day he played for the last portion of the game in midfield, didn't he? I wouldn't be surprised at all actually to see Skirtle on the right side of the three today. Though we switched it when I came on last week, didn't we? So I think Rodgers obviously looks like he trusts in Markovic's ability to cover that right-hand side. Yeah. But when it changes,
he goes mad about it.
He's
constantly talking about tactical flexibility, isn't he? And that's exactly what you're saying there. That he has that option to be able to change things in game, and players can adjust.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know your thoughts on Emre Can if you're watching. Put in the comments or at Redmen TV. We'll get Chris to read a few comments in a minute. That run he did in the week. Just when he picked the ball, he just goes, and he's done a couple of times recently, he just goes, fuck it. And just goes, I'm having a go here. I bet. It's like turns around to Sacco and goes, and Skirtle goes, bet I can get to the edge of their 18-yard box. You watching? Go! And he just bursts, and he's powering through the middle of the team. And we haven't seen that, Ben, since Danny Agger. And it's not like he was kind of famed for it, but he didn't do it anywhere near as much as people remember, I think. But we haven't had a player even remotely like that since him at his peak.
No, we haven't. And it's great reading Twitter after a victory, and everyone's putting comments and ideas and thoughts, and a lot of people describe Chan as a Rolls Royce, and he just has that sort of feeling of as a real cultured footballer. He is a footballer who can. He's comfortable on the ball, and as I say, it tends to be your centre halves aren't as comfortable on the ball traditionally. But when he got moved into midfield for that last 20 minutes against Bolton, all right, it was a championship team, etc., but he puts a fantastic little pass over the top of Sterling. He hit the crossbar, didn't he? Where the keeper pushed it onto the crossbar. He looks a class act, and as I said it myself. To me, I tweeted it out. He feels the exact opposite to what Andy Carroll was, costing us ridiculous amounts of money. He feels like a player who is just going to be peanuts in the next 2 or 3 years, and I think it could well be a scenario of Bayern Munich come knocking up for 40 million for him in 3 seasons, and he'll replace Kadira for Germany.
And the funny thing I always say about Emre Can as well is that when he signed, Chris, when he signed, do you want to blow your nose first? When he signed, lads, we were talking about him being like he could play a little bit of centre back or left back. He's playing right sided of a back three, and then he's attacking against Bolton. He goes to hit it on his right foot, shifts it onto his left. Yeah. And you're like,
cultured, isn't it?
What?
Yeah.
What do you think then, Chris? I mean, would you? We've discussed this already, haven't we, about Emre Can? Just keep him where he is for the rest of the season, or have you seen enough to suggest that we should really be starting to find a way to get him into the midfield?
I think as it stands at the moment, I'd keep him where he is. I'd leave him for now, just because we've hit upon something. I think everyone in this room knows that he's the future of the centre midfield for Liverpool. I can see that for the next few years, but right now we're in a good vein of form. He's been key to that. and I'd be quite happy maybe to just leave him there and let him develop as a player in that position. The more minutes he has, I'd rather him get minutes on the pitch somewhere. So it's going to be there for me. Like.
Yeah, while you're there, Chris, have we prepared our own graphic for Everton's team? Have we?
Do
you want to just quickly talk us through them?
Yeah, I'll go through it. I'll try and put it in formation for you. I think that Joel will start in goal. Oviedo left back, Jack Elkins Stones with Coleman right back. I think Besic and Barry will be the two holding midfielders, and then a three with McCarthy on the right, Naismith in the centre, Morales on the left, and Lukaku up top on his Billy Goat Gruff.
Interesting. I mean, there's potential variations there, isn't there, Jack? It could be Lukaku on his own up front. It could be a 4-3-3 as well. They've changed things. We had the lads from Toffee TV on in the week, and they've not been thrilled with the way Everton have performed this season. Yeah. But what they did say was Martinez seems to have started to address some of the issues they've had, made a couple of changes to the way they approach the game. So, should we be fearful more this week than perhaps we would have been a few weeks ago?
No, not really. I mean, they got a good... Winning away at Palace is a good result, whoever you are, and that's what they did last weekend, wasn't it? They went, 7 games without a win before that?
Well, they said they're unbeaten in 6, so you can put a different spin on it, however you want, but it's 1 win in 7, I think it is.
Yeah, so,
it's a run.
Well, if he's got them starting to be hard to beat, then he's, they're moving in the right direction. I think, looking at the table, much like a defeat really kind of changes things at the top of the table, a win for a team near at the bottom changes the perspective a lot as well, and they weren't right at the bottom, but people were starting to talk about them a little bit as though, if
it breaks them all just getting that win, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've got a 7-point, they had a 7-point gap at the start of the weekend, so they look a bit safer than they were, and suddenly a bit steadier.
Yeah, we want because Lukaku's not had a great season for them.
No.
He looked, they paid a lot of money for him. He looked terrific. His last 2 seasons out on loan at West Brom and then obviously Everton.
Yeah.
He's still the one though, isn't he, today?
Oh yeah, definitely, and he has a good record against us as well. He did terror us a little bit in the derby last year, didn't he? He scored just a classic Lukaku header, didn't he? He powered past everybody, and he has got exceptional attributes. But I don't think he's a great player by any means, but he's a danger man without a doubt, and he's capable of scoring a goal. And I think again, a strikers' union, isn't it? It's he gets 1 goal off his backside last week, and that might just give him a real kick. I think they showed a few highlights of him switching the play, and a few nice little passes, and that definitely gives you a boost, doesn't it? When you've just got a goal. So yeah. I think he will be a threat.
Right, how do we handle Lukaku? Because notoriously under Brendan Rodgers we've struggled against him, but also players of that ilk, big, strong, powerful centre forward.
We're talking about Sacco. Skrtel is the obvious choice because he's a similar mould to Lukaku in the sense of that strong centre back that can deal with him. Lukaku's the one who corners. Liverpool haven't been renowned for marking well in corners, so he's a tough player to mark. But I think Liverpool can easily blossom out of the game, and if they do, then they take themselves a great opportunity of winning the game because Lukaku is a big part of their attack, and if he doesn't turn up today, I don't think Everton will, in a respect.
Spends a lot of time drifting to the right hand side, doesn't he, and attacking from there. It's where he played a lot for West Brom.
Martinez tried him in a couple of different positions.
Yeah, he pulled off at Anfield and did that a bit, didn't he? And we had to counter that quite a bit. But he got isolated quite a lot, didn't he? So I think it depends on their mentality today. If they're going to go for it, I'm not seeing Barry, Besic and McCarthy in the same team. I don't think so. That's a different setup. So
well, the lads are tough to you. Again, saying Besic, terrific talent player, but he's going to go one way or the other. He's either going to be, and he's either going to announce himself.
Yeah.
To the derby, by being sensational, or he's
getting sent off in the first 5 minutes.
Let's hope he recreates that first touch he had in the pre-season.
That was genius. Greatest first touch of all time, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Talking of cards, a few clumsy edge of the box tackles from Gareth Barry will get people excited today, won't they?
Fingers crossed, and not, but let's hope not from Lucas.
Who's the ref?
Go on.
Who's the ref?
That's a great question. Anyone let us know the ref in the comments alongside?
Or doesn't trust us to know.
Just look it up. Chris, what have we got over there, mate?
I've got a picture from the Hillsborough Family Support Group. They've just tweeted out, obviously Everton unveiled the plaque today. Everton remembers 15th of April 1989. It says, in memory of the 96 Liverpool supporters who lost their lives at Hillsborough. Obviously got King Kenny, Bill Kenwright and Margaret Aspinall as well for HFSG. Now I think it looks like Bill's tapping her up there for a roll in Coronation Street, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But
it's
a nice little nod from the Everton fans.
Well, no, it is fantastic, and it's mad because there'll be people watching at home from around the world and what have you, and just sort of who maybe understand the rivalry side of things of the derby, because you know rivalry, it transcends sport, it transcends all kinds of things. But I think a lot of people don't quite get why that would be the case, you know. And to be fair, like in the last couple of years, the way Everton have reacted to obviously the Hillsborough stuff has been absolutely sensational.
Yeah, I was at the memorial for the 20th anniversary, and Martinez's speech was fantastic. It was really, you know, it was touching, and it was from the heart, and that probably reflects a majority of the Everton fans. As much as we hate each other during the game and before the game and after the game and all season, it's still, you know, there's still a huge amount of respect for both sets of fans, and it's great to see. Like that is a really nice thing to see.
Out of it, just right. What's the split like in your school?
It's a tough one. There's 75%, no, about 95% Liverpool fans.
Excellent.
5% Everton fans. There's a bitter Evertonian that you know I'm not going to name him on show.
do it. Name him.
But there's a bitter Evertonian in our school, in my friend group. But that's why I found it quite ridiculous that the 5:30 kickoff and the police were making such a big fuss about it, because it's a friendly derby in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, my dad's an Evertonian, I'm a Liverpoolian, and it's that sort of, you know, friendly banter in a sense. Like, I'm not gonna smash his head in, am I? You know what I mean? If we don't win.
Wait till you get a bit older.
It has lost a little bit of friendly darbiness.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's anywhere near as friendly as kind of we'd like it to be portrayed. But I think all that. What the problem with that, the kick-off thing and the policing issue and all the complaints is more. I think it sends a message about in the stadium, but I don't think there's that much trouble in that. No. I think that the trouble's more.
Toffee TV guys said it, didn't they? It's all the Muppets who are in and around and town and whatnot. Most people go in the game. There's just big fans want to go to the game, don't they? And that's it. And half of them will be back at home in bed if they lose anyway, won't they?
Well, so absolutely. Chris, was it like you spoke to your brother much in the build up to this?
Yeah, sure. This morning we didn't mention the game.
That's the only way it stays, the friendly derby.
Yeah, I saw as he was going. He went to say goodbye to the baby, and I saw him singing Everton songs at her, so I quickly shoved him out the house like.
There's my mother-in-law's fella is an Evertonian. He's not been very well recently, and I wish them a speedy recovery. Apart from today, you know what I mean. If it sets him back a bit, Everton losing today, then so be it. Lovely fella, but you know. Some things are just more important. Like, if you're watching, let us know. I mean, particularly if you're watching from around the world, let us know where you're watching from, and do you actually know any Evertonians? I'm always fascinated by this. Whenever I see like people from over in the States or Australia and stuff like that who've come to Liverpool, come to football in general, I always ask how they see Everton, because I'm always fascinated, because obviously it's such a massive part of our lives. You can't avoid them. Sadly, but you know how that exists in the in the far reaches of the globe. Anyway, Chris, do you want to go back over to the comments? What have we got going on?
Found two here. First, Daz LFC 94. I just watched your Everton build up with Toffee TV boys, so I'm 15 minutes late. At least you watched something good. And then Haldor Carvel. Colo will be back after winning the Africa Cup, full of confidence, and then Chan moves to midfield.
That's an interesting shout. I can't. We were talking about this actually today about Colo. I'm not sure where Colo, because if Lovren's not even being considered, and I know we actually probably rank Colo ahead of Lovren in general, or prior to him going away, I'm not sure where he would fit into this back three.
He wouldn't be walking back into it, I don't think. And I think, as everyone sort of agreed on a touch earlier, I'm in no rush to move Emre Can to the midfield either. I think with the momentum we've built, not only is he useful at the back, but also he's definitely not got that same level of energy as Henderson in the midfield. So I'd wonder, now that we've kind of increased the pace as we attack, I'd wonder whether he might just slow things down a little bit, and it might be more appropriate to move him there next season when maybe we've adapted the way we play a bit.
I think Colo and Manquillo, I'm not quite sure where either of those players fits in with this system at the moment.
I think for me, Chan plays there for the rest of the season. End of. There's nobody better in that position for me. There's Johnson, who's an option not as good as Chan. There's Colo, not as good, and Chan needs to be moved into midfield because Lucas and Hendo are doing a perfectly good job, and then he's still got Alan who he likes, and he still even play Gerrard there. So for me, Chan plays there for the rest of the season. I even think that he might consider. I know this is a bit outside of the today, but I think he could easily play a back four and Chan right back, Sacco and Scale centre half, and Moreno left back.
Yeah, we're talking about both of them, right? We've not even mentioned Glenn Johnson or John Glenson, which is a first for a Redmen show. But I mean, again, how does he get his way back into this team?
Just to touch on the point before with Emre Can, who would you replace in the midfield for him? Because you've got Lucas, who is a great member of our team, and Henderson applies that energy, and then obviously you've got Coutinho, and whoever is in that pockets with him, maybe Gerrard Lallana when he's fit. But I can't really see him moving back into that midfield because I wouldn't want to change it about with Henderson and Lucas. In terms of Glenn Johnson, still wouldn't, unless there was an injury. Touch wood.
There's not, yeah.
But unless there's an injury.
Everyone touch wood. Fucking 10 fakers. Don't get off yourself, lad.
But unless there's a real injury, I don't see the need in change. They've got a good, solid back three that we've been really missing. We haven't conceded anywhere near the goals that we conceded at the start of the season. Midfield looks solid with Lucas and Henderson, who obviously applies that energy, goes back and forward, similar to McCarthy in a sense. And then obviously the two wing backs apply the width on the right hand and left hand flanks, and then you've got the two pockets with Coutinho, possibly Sterling when Sturridge comes back.
Sorry, on that, anyone watching, is McCarthy still better than Henderson on FIFA? Something we noticed when we were doing the review of it. I'd be interested to know if anyone's got FIFA there.
I think Riziki still is, isn't he?
Riziki.
That's shocking.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Is McCarthy still better than Henderson on FIFA? If it is, it's an absolute disgrace. Sorry, Ryan. Good point, well. But the point, going back to your point there, it's a great one. Where does it? If we're talking about Emre Can, the possibility of midfield, I think what I gather from the general feeling, Jack, is that people see him as Lucas's long-term replacement, and I get that, but it annoys me because this is like the backhanded compliments or the slap and tickle or whatever it is that Chris likes to talk about, is that everyone says Lucas is really good, but as though there's so many people who like to qualify their of Lucas Leiva as though there's a magical player who's going to do everything that he does and more.
I don't necessarily see Emre Can as the long-term replacement because, I mean, as I've said before, I've not seen Emre Can play that role on his own. And Lucas, although he's been partnered with Henderson, because of the fact that Henderson gets forward. So he does that job largely on his own. I don't know if Emre Can could do that. It's something I'm sure we'll take a look at some point.
I see personally, and I don't know what your thoughts are, Ben. Him and at least while we do it now, I'd see him as Henderson's. To swap in and out with Jordan Henderson because of that motor that they both possess.
And he's not probably going to replace Henderson because obviously Henderson never gets injured, does he?
Oh, Ben, no!
I was doing it. No. But I'm fairly confident that he doesn't anyway. But no, Chan is just again, he's this young player as well, isn't he? And he probably have a little dip in form at certain times. So I think he'd just go with the flow while he's in the team. I think Roger said again earlier in the week he's getting confidence from playing, and his position there at the moment is that role, and effectively he can be a midfielder because he's that good. When we're on the front foot all the time, he can stride into midfield and do that sort of thing. I think you'll find him probably having to do a lot more uglier jobs if he's holding a position, and he's probably not intelligent enough to hold that position or know. He's got to learn it over time. At this moment, it's almost like a no holds barred in that role. He can go when he gets licensed to go, but then he just defends when he has to. I just think he's still learning, and it's just great that he's in the team. Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. If you just joined us, welcome. It's the Emre Can Wankfest live on Redmen TV. He's probably going to be awful today.
I know.
Having just spent half an hour.
Penalty 2 minutes in. Even Carragher took his. He retracted his comments, didn't he? Said, "I'll take it back." He's impressed me the last 4 or 5 weeks because he slaughtered him, didn't he, when he gave that penalty?
To be fair, Jack, Jamie Carragher is the perfect example of a player who's able to make horrific mistakes and pick his head back up again. I love Jamie Carragher, what a great team, but that guy had more moments than most that left me with my head in my hands. Well, so, if Emre Can is able to do it, then credit to him.
It took him a good 4 years to get any sort of genuine credit for his role in the team, to be acknowledged.
Played
as
every
somebody
position under the sun, didn't he? Apart from like up front.
Yeah.
And even after a good season at
the biggest impression he left at Liverpool was on that infamous Christmas party back in the day.
Scored
Ask your dad if you want to know.
Scored about 14 own goals against United.
Even after the season at left back, when he was decent, when we did the cup treble. But even then, we signed Reece, didn't we? And it was only Marcus Babbel's illness that meant that he got back in the team.
Oh, hello.
Back.
Sturridge injured in the warm-up is coming through on the comments section.
Amazing.
Where's that? Where's that wood?
That was you, Dad.
Sorry.
Has Fabio Barini brought his boots?
Oh, this is not good, is it? Let's be honest, that's horrible news. How long is he going to be injured?
People just saying he walked down. Hang on a second. If he's, we'll have to see.
Paul didn't touch wood. Backflipping sheep's blaming you. I don't know why. Up on the bandwagon. Paul, it's your fault.
Yeah, just Tom, if you would.
By Lacazette.
Yeah, right there. By Lacazette. By Lacazette now!
Open the window for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh,
from James Pearce Twitter. Go and have a look on Twitter, will you, Chris?
Yeah, find it, man.
Well, that's devastating if it's true, but we'll come back to that when we know a little bit more information about it. Maybe it's just I'm not even going to talk about it till we know a little bit more.
I think that's a good strategy.
Yes.
Might just be vicious rumours and propaganda.
Yeah. Well, let's not talk about one.
So I've got the tweet here if you want to come over to us. We've got James Pearce Echo, worrying sign for the Reds. Sturridge leaves the warm-up early and heads down the tunnel with head physio Chris Morgan.
He did that last week though.
He did. But it's worrying signs for the Reds this time.
It's worrying.
Pearce just picked up 2,000 new followers. I said, to be fair, we'll have to see how obviously how that pans out. We're not obviously not got Sky on what they're saying, but
back in the bubble.
He did, get him back in the bubble. He did do that in the warm up last weekend. He did a very light warm up and then disappeared. And I was like, oh my god, I think he's
Hashtag Paul out.
I'll go watch it in the pub. I mean, like I say, if that is a
I feel better now than if you said that. That might just be his programme.
Well, we'll have to see. Obviously, if he does take his place on the bench or not, but I'm hoping that it is just the same. Because I was saying, because he was on the bench against West Ham, and where's he gone? He vanished from the warm up. I didn't see him go down, but he didn't take part in any of the shooting practice or the heavy warm ups. What they normally do is they do like a piggy in the middle style thing where they go around in a circle on two players, press the ball, and they've got to keep it away from them. And Sturridge was no one was really passing to him, and he wasn't doing anything more, and he wasn't being pressed very heavily. So I kind of thought, what's he even doing on the bench here? And then he vanished. So fingers crossed. It's just he's doing his keepy ups and the changes.
Maybe they're just being ultra cautious with him.
Let's
hope
so. Nothing said on Sky. Well, we'll see. Like I say, I set myself up for a fall by tweeting about it last week. So let's hope James Pearce has dropped the same bollock.
Yeah.
That one. But as I say, we're more info as and when we've got it. Sky Sports. No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Anyway,
They can't read what we're reading.
Let's take a deep breath and think positive thoughts for the next 12 minutes or so and see how we...
There is still 11 players starting the game. That's the most important thing.
Exactly. Ben, this game and this month, massive. It starts today and continues for the rest of February. The most pivotal month in our season.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I was thinking to myself, coming up here today, if we win today and then we win on Tuesday, then we're definitely in the mix. But then we've got Southampton away next weekend, and then we've got City coming up again the weekend after. It's just, it's going to go all the way. I think there's 3 points between 5 teams now, and it could be, they might just give Chelsea the title in about 2 months' time, and no one be asked, and then have a new title race for the top 4. and because that's going to be more exciting, because it's the Chelsea have near enough.
Well, there's so much money riding on it, Ryan, that there's every team now who's in around that position. From you're talking United, Arsenal, Spurs, us, Southampton. We're 2 points ahead of West Ham as well.
Yeah.
I'd like to think
they got United tomorrow as well, so that could throw it all up again.
But every one of these teams has got one eye on the riches of the Champions League thanks to the BT money. It's going to be, it's going to be fascinating. But again, absolutely vital that we take these opportunities that are ahead of us this month.
Well, in effect, it is. You can't really afford to miss out the top four, especially a club of Liverpool's magnitude. And yeah, they are worrying signs. You know, if Liverpool do miss out the top four, but it's not the end of the world. If Liverpool pick up 2 trophies and finish 5th, it's not the best of seasons, but it's still something positive that we can take.
Good optimism.
From the season.
Love it. This is why we got Ryan in here, just to keep us all ticking over, not jaded by years and years of disappointment.
I wasn't born then, you see.
There's lots to talk about. This being a 5-horse race for the 3rd and 4th, isn't it? And I just wonder how long before that actually becomes a 6-horse race with City not looking fantastic.
That's a really good
people
point
start
as well,
questioning their credentials a little bit.
Honestly picked up now that Spurs have a chance. I think that wasn't really a thing that we thought of, but I think Spurs have got a real chance now that we didn't really consider them. We were just thinking, oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a big statement them winning today, I think, wasn't it?
Absolutely. We were talking on Deadline Day Live on, obviously last week. We had Flav from the Fighting Cock on it as a Spurs fan and not just some very niche website.
Try saying that without laughing.
Yeah. But I was saying to him, like, almost like laughing, like, oh, Spurs the top 4. He had Spurs to finish 3rd, I think. And I was like, don't be ridiculous. But then thought, hang on, they're above us. They've been consistently above us. Also, they've got Harry Kane, who is the informed striker in the league. They must be thinking, they're probably looking at us and going, don't be daft, don't be ridiculous. They have quietly crept up. I mean, Jack, I don't think for a single second that that Spurs will be in the top 4. But looking at it now, these are the kind of teams we're going to have to overcome. They're sneaking it.
They're in there for a single second today, aren't they? So, different teams are going to have the control of the situation over the next few weeks. The North London derby result earlier on today gave us ability to control. They're both within reach now of us, with them to play. So we're in control of our own destiny.
Sorry, put that comment on. We like that one in capitals. Down, Paul. Oh, he's lost it. How dare he lose it? Paul was right in capital letters. Well,
There's another one about, From Pepperoni Smeacher, apparently according to player killer Derby chance murdering bastard Paul Machin from the Redmen TV. Spurs did the same thing last week.
Data Hendo blocked.
Derby chance murdering. That's intense, that, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
You missed bastard.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Thanks, Ben. He was just trying to spare me feelings.
It would see if Harry Kane got injured and how that would impact on Spurs.
That would certainly, I would be fascinated to see that.
Yeah, that's the only thing that separates Arsenal still for me. They had Sanchez missing today, didn't they? And they've got a much more options, whereas Spurs literally are Kane's stick at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I think that they will still come unstuck as the season goes on. I think personally it's going to be United, Arsenal and us 2 from 3 for the top 4. That's my, and I don't know which 2 from 3.
Yeah, well, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, we've said this already in shows on the website and stuff this week, Jack, but this time last year we talked about having this run. We played everyone away from home, we had everyone at Anfield, like, well, we've got the favourable run, and then when it came to crunch time, it's like, we've got to deliver, and we fucking did. We did with bells on, with a big fat cherry on top. Now we've got to do the same. We're expecting an improved second half performance of the season. Daniel Sturridge may or may not be back, but if Liverpool have got any hopes of finishing top 4, they've actually just got to turn up and they've got to start doing it. But that's the pressure of the whole thing.
Yeah, it's tougher in the sense that we've got more games if things go well. We might have a good run of European games and end up with pretty much 2 games a week till April at least. We didn't have that last year, but we bought into the squad, and I often look at Arsenal's squad and think they've got some fantastic attacking midfielders there. And I know we play with the wing backs, so you might categorise them in our current setup. But you look at the players we've got Sterling, Coutinho, Lallana, possibly Jordan Ibe and Markovic, who can all play there, and that excites me. I think that's really exciting moving forward.
You missed him deliberately.
But, extreme backup scenario.
We've got plenty of players who can come in and contribute during what might be a heavy schedule. Yeah. So I think there's every reason to be optimistic.
I think. Yeah, Chris, I'm going to come to you in a moment, so just prepare. The problem we've got, and the way at this point of the season now, and I was thinking about this today. My nerves have really kicked in for this game, and it's because we were so poor at the start of the season. We were piss poor at the start of the season. The pressure's now on every single week. You know, we've gotten to a position now, particularly now with this month coming ahead, that we basically can't afford to lose any more games. You know, and that's being a fan as well. It adds so much more pressure. Not the players are under pressure on the pitch to perform, but there's just a whole order of pressure around the team from the fans around the world to the fans in the stand, etc.
Yeah, it is, and it's because of what we did last season, isn't it? Really, I mean, going back 2 years ago, at this stage of the season, we were probably in exactly the same position. It just didn't friggin' matter that much because you didn't see us being better than we are. Whereas now we know that we can go and win these games and put a run together. So there's that added pressure that you add yourself, basically, because you know how good we can be and how good this team can be.
But it's just like the fact that every week the wheels will fall off with a point drop, and that's football's pressured enough without literally going into the game. Every single match between now and the end of the season is like the most important game of the season. It's fucking ludicrous.
It's for everybody in the league, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but is it though? I don't think so.
I don't think it's maybe have someone in 12th, 13th.
Stoke.
But someone Stoke, yeah, you know, people will be looking over the shoulder thinking exactly the same. The Everton fans that we spoke to this week, where everybody ahead, Man City, Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United, they're all feeling exactly the same way. It's just what football is at this stage of the season, Paul.
Yeah, I think it's I don't think it's the same for everyone in this regard, because it's the pressure around everything. You think it comes from last season, definitely, you know, and having come so high, is that everything from the manager's job to, you know, our weekend happiness. And I know the weekend happiness thing is true along football. You're always miserable after a defeat, but I genuinely feel like look at Arsenal. Look at Arsenal. Every time they lose a game, it's fucking calamity.
Yeah, like,
everything goes fucking apeshit.
Wenger needs a few extra bodyguards, doesn't he? It's
exactly.
just like,
and I feel like that's what we're like at the moment. Like, if we don't win today, it's just gonna, it's all gonna kick off again.
Oh,
it's all gonna be the end of the world.
Definitely. It's funny actually, because I said before that we could be third come Tuesday night if we win these next two games, if results go forward, but equally we could not win these two games and still be 6 points off the pace, and yet we've won our last like 4 or 5 games, so we're playing, we're winning every single game, and we're still, all the teams around us, the competition is a lot better this year than it was last year. You know, we literally only had City to fight against last year, and then Chelsea was sort of like a bit part at the end, but this year there's 4 or 5 teams not just playing well, in top form, all winning games, and it's so there is no let up. It's literally like sprint finish now, and whoever gets tired quickest is going to fall off.
That's a great point.
There's a difference between being third, like we could be, and I'm just trying to work it out. Then I think we could be 8th, 11 points off third.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad.
Wednesday.
And we were leading last year, weren't we? And we were getting caught, chased down. Whereas we're chasing this year, and it's always harder to chase, I think, than it is to like just keep on winning.
Well,
games.
I said this about like the difference between this and last year was Everton were talking about a title challenge this time last year, and they were chasing us, and all of a sudden we started smashing teams. And how do you keep up that mentality, chasing when the teams above you keep winning? That's the unfortunate position we're in now. All the pressure's on us to somehow manage the mentality of the players and the fans, because like I say, one defeat and it's game over, and that's how we put the teams below us to bed last season, by just being consistently better. Right, we're going over to the game momentarily. Chris, do you want to...
I think the other thing on that is actually that's quite interesting is the Europa League will hurt us on that side of things as well, because of the Thursday game. Our games are getting pushed back to the Sunday, which means that most of our rivals will have already played, so the pressure will really be on us. And not only that, but we'll have to play in the friggin' Europa League. Right,
that's a really depressing tone to end on. So
I love the
that.
pressure. Let's bring it on.
Yeah, look, Steven Gerrard playing in his... What?
Sturridge on the bench.
Sturridge is on the bench. Show! Hello!
We all love you again.
Hello! He's not fit enough to come on. He's only got one leg. But yeah, anyway...
He's on the bench, but he's on crutches.
Yeah, anyway, we haven't even mentioned Steven Gerrard. Fantastic. We want to see Steven Gerrard be Steven Gerrard, do what he's done to Evertonians for the entirety of his career and just make them cry, and then by proxy their, you know, other halves and cats. So we'll see how today pans out. Let us know your thoughts on anything in the comments below. Don't forget to come back over for half-time live as well. We're going to be on the YouTube channel and on our website. If you can't find the link, go on the redmentv.com. The half-time stream will be on there this time because I fucking thought ahead. Anyway, enjoy the match. See you later. Allez les Rouges!